Hi you, thank you for joining me for another video from the Temple of Cornwall. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Rebecca and I'm the creatrix and mother priestess of the Temple of Cornwall. I'm also a sacred celebrant, an oracle and a published writer. So this video is all about our priestess of Cornwall training. This is for the next spiral that happens in September this year and ends in 2023. But this will probably stay the same for some future spirals as well. So in this video, I'm going to talk you all about just what this training involves, how it came to be, not everything that you'll learn because that'll be a very long video, but talk you through some of the things, give you sneak peeks at what you'll be learning and tell you about how you can get more involved and everything that you get with this course as well. So just a quick disclaimer, this training is open to everyone, whatever your gender or lack thereof, but just for ease throughout this video, I'm just going to be using the term priestess rather than go priest, priestess, priest X. It's just saves you time, saves me time. So priestess, but meaning masculine energies or non-binaries or gender fluids. Whatever you are more than welcome here in all your forms. So this training started in its earliest form, probably about, it was like August last year, and I'm filming this in late April of 2021. So this was obviously initiated during lockdown last year, or one of the many lockdowns that we've had here in the UK. And it was something that I'd always wanted to offer through the temple, but it just hadn't. I was too, I was all, still setting up how I wanted the temple to run, especially in the online spaces that we have, because that's all we do have at the moment because of COVID. So I was busy working away with that. And on the same day, merely hours apart, two women who don't know each other both reached out to me and asked whether I'd be willing to train them to become a priestess of Cornwall. Obviously, I said yes. And I always take those kind of synchronicities as a sign of like, no, stop focusing on this thing, focus on this instead, as a big sign from the spirit of Cornwall. So I listened as the priestess, and I took them both on as students. And this is when I gained the role of mother priestess. So this is where I obviously manage the day-to-day runnings of the temple anyway and create all the offerings and all that stuff, but also guide people through these trainings to become priestesses themselves on these big, long, spiraling journeys that we go on together. So the way that I teach priestessing, or my core, like where I come from with this training, is always to empower you. It's never to tell you precisely this is the only way you can ever reach the divine, just because that's worked for me. Every other way is wrong. How dare you even think you could do something else? No, that's a whole load of hoo-ha in my opinion. It's to empower you. I tell you and I teach you what's worked for me, but make it very clear that what works for you might be different. So don't be hard on yourself if the way you like to oracle isn't the way that I like to oracle. That's fine. Not a problem. We'll find a way that suits you, which is why there's so many one-on-ones throughout this course as well, which I'll get to later on. But it's all about helping you find your priestess path, because your priestess path is going to look incredibly different than mine, than the two women that I've already trained. It's going to be so vastly unique and different, and that's beautiful, and that should be celebrated. So that's always where this training is. The core of the training is to empower and inspire you to go off and create your own little path with my guidance and with the support of the other students in the group as well. And some of the priestesses, or soon-to-be priestesses, they dedicate on Beltane on the 1st of May, which I'm so excited about. I'm sure they are too. So yes, it's always to empower you. So by doing this course, you will achieve so many things. You will learn so many new skills. I just can't physically list them all, otherwise we'd be here forever. But some of the many skills that you'd learn would be how to oracle, would be how to hold circles, how to write guided meditations, how to connect with certain deities, how to create sacred space. And they all vary on things that you may know and things that you may not know. But you'll also learn a deep sense of empowerment, because obviously that's where I'm coming at with this, to empower you. But it's also that you will have a sustained powerful empowerment journey throughout this. You'll come out of this 2-year spiral feeling a completely new person. You will have shed the skin of who you are, which there is nothing wrong with you now. We're all perfect in our own way at every single moment on our journey. But you will shed the kind of everything that doesn't serve you on your priestess path, you'll shed that, it'll be gone, and then you'll be here ready as a priestess of Cornwall, and it's beautiful. And you'll also, there's so much healing that happens throughout this course. I mean, not only do you learn how to heal others with a unique method that we use here at the temple, but there's so many chances and opportunities and room for you to deeply heal ancient wounds that you might still be carrying, whether those are ancestral wounds, past life wounds, or even current life wounds. They're all accepted and healed in the space of the energies that we create during this training. So you'll come out like brand spanking new, like a lizard that's just shed its skin. Lizards? Snakes that shed the skin. And you'll develop a deep sense of compassion and love for yourself as well, and for others, because obviously that's a big part of priestessing. But you'll also develop it for yourself, because how, the famous words of RuPaul, how can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself? I'm sure he phrases it differently and better than that, but you get the idea. How can you serve others from this compassionate and deep well of love that you are, as the divine creature that you are? How can you serve them best? If your heart chakra is like, oh no, my inner child's not quite good enough, or oh, like it's no, you've got to be kind and gentle to yourself, which is an ongoing journey. I'm not saying at the end of this 2-year spiral that you're going to be fully healed, you will never have to heal yourself again, you're golden. No, that's not the point of being human, which is what we are. But you will be deeply healed and you'll be a lot more gentle with yourself, show yourself a lot more grace and compassion, which I think is super important on a journey of being a priestess. And you'll also obviously become a priestess of Cornwall at the end of all this as well. And at the end of your first year, because this is a 2-year spiral course, at the end of your first year, you'll dedicate as a sister, brother, or sacred sibling of Cornwall. And then at the end of the 2 years, you'll be a priest, priestess, or priestex, or your preferred term. At the end of the 2 years, yeah, priestess of Cornwall. Again, just with going back to your preferred term, priestex is a term that I've done some research, and I've asked people, like friends that are non-binary and gender fluid, what term they would like to use. And most of them said priestex, but some of them, which I love that term, but some of them did say that they would rather be called like what their innate gift is. So, for example, one of them was singer of Cornwall, or oracle of Cornwall, or something like that. Just whatever makes you feel right and good. That's all that matters. I'm not too hung up on what you're called, other than to give you the freedom to call yourself whatever you want at the end of this, because it's all the same energy. So yes, and all this, these are all the things that you'll be able to be and become and feel at the end of all this, because I've gone through this journey as well. I've seen this journey play out in my own life in very obvious ways and some not so obvious ways. So to give you an example of why I teach from an empowered place and why I teach empowerment so strongly, is because that's something that has always been a wounding in my life until, I mean, it's always an ongoing journey, but till about 2018 was a major point for me. So at that point, I had been in a very emotionally abusive marriage for nearly a decade at that point. Yes, I married way too young. Lessons learned, I know. But he was incredibly controlling and manipulative, all the things that manipulators and narcissists are. He was like the chef's kiss, god of the narcissists. And he, like, even to the point where I couldn't walk beside him or in front of him ever so slightly, I had to walk behind him. That was fun. And he, yes, I won't go into the nitty gritty, but it was grim, and it really affected me. It really affected my throat chakra quite a lot, and my sacral chakra as well, and my solar plexus, obviously, because that's power center, but I digress. Those were the places for me that were really felt this and really was stuck in that disempowered place. Because, like, if you know me personally, and I'm sure through these videos, I don't come across as the meek and mild 1950s domesticated, tamed woman that I was then. Like, you know, I used to bake cakes that never got eaten because he liked a cake to be on show. Broke my heart, by the way, to not eat cakes. Oh my God. But yes, and then it was through a series of events that mainly happened through training at the Glastonbury Goddess Temple for one of their Sacred Celebrant courses that just blew those energy centers wide open and made me kind of realize, like, oh my God. And a meeting with my twin flame, that kind of set everything in motion. It was 2018 was a messy but amazing year for me. And this really taught me a lot about empowerment, but more importantly, disempowerment. What had I been doing that was disempowered, and how do I still sometimes let that seep back in? Like, how is this still playing out in my life sometimes, or all the time, or, you know, whenever? And what can I do to remedy this and keep that topped up? Because I feel like, you know, yes, you can do a really great, you know, affirmation about I'm empowered, I'm amazing, I'm queen of the world. You are, definitely. But something will happen, or your mindset will slip, and you'll kind of forget that. And you'll, you know, a week later, you'll be like, oh, why am I saying yes to things I want to say no to? It's because you've not you've not topped up your empowerment chalice, as it were. So this is, again, methods that I teach. But yeah, so this is where I'm coming from. This is all that I teach you is from experiential learning that I've done myself in the past nearly 30 years of my life. So down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to put my glasses on for this because I've written notes, because there's no way on God's green earth that I could remember everything that is taught in this course, or how it's, you know, everything. So this course is presented as a 2-year course. So that's 2 spirals, we call them, because you're spiraling deep within the Cornish wheel of the year. Every year that you train here is another year deeper and deeper, and almost re-experiencing the same things from a different point of view, going deeper within each aspect as we spiral down or spiral up. So yes, they're presented as spirals, and the dates for this next spiral that starts will begin on Mabon this year. So it's the 22nd of September 2021, and it will finish. So your dedication ceremony as a priestess of Cornwall would be at Lammas 2023. So that's 1st of August 2023. And this course is, because it was born from COVID, I can't think of a nicer way to say that, but since it was born from COVID, it's an on and offline course, and that depends entirely on COVID restrictions at the time. I'm hoping by 2023 there won't be any. On COVID restrictions at the time, and also your location, because there's a lot of people internationally, like not local to Cornwall or even the UK itself, that have deep ancestral roots to this land and want to reconnect with them and still embody their priestess self and serve the spirit of Cornwall and the land in their own way, wherever they may be in their far and distant country from here. So it all kind of depends where you are. Most of it is done online. And again, it will depend on, you know, if the group is made up entirely of people who live in Cornwall or who can travel here every 6 weeks. Perfect. We'll do everything in person. If not, then again, it will be on either Zoom, or there'll be pre-recorded things on like private YouTube listings I can send you, because you will have access to a private Facebook group that's got me, you, and all your other brothers, sisters, and sacred siblings that are training alongside you there. So you'll have all that support system there. And it's a chance for you to celebrate each other as well, to witness each other and your experiences as you go along deep within these lovely spirals as well. So yes, things will be very clearly presented once we get an idea of who the group is made up of. But yes, it's very accessible no matter what, because again, it's made to suit you and the group as a collective, because I live by the theory that it's, yes, sometimes spiritual stuff needs to be big and grand and, you know, take up time and all this space. That's beautiful and fine in its right times. But if it's something that you can't do every day, then you'll forget about it, again, because we're human. So spirituality needs to be accessible in all its forms. So again, that's something else that we teach. See, if you know me, you know that I love to go off on tangents and waffles. So here you go, another famous Rebecca waffle for you. And I got off track and don't remember where I am. Yes, how it's presented to you. So yes, online and offline, but you'll see as we go on how these are kind of interchangeable as well. So don't worry if you're in Canada, Italy, America, anything, it can be adapted to suit you personally. Totally, 100%. So course material, so you'll get new material every 6 weeks or so, and during those 6 weeks, we'll journey as a group deep into the energies of that time of year and what that means from the Cornish point of view, from the Cornish spiritual point of view, and also what that means for you as a priestess in general, because I'm not just teaching you how to be a priestess of Cornwall, definitely am, but it's not just that, it's also how to be a priestess in general, a more expansive term of the word priestess, how to embody and be and learn and do that kind of stuff. So it's every 6 weeks, so around the time of the festivals, so Mabon, Samhain, Yule, Candlemas, so on and so forth. There will be a completely unique ceremony for you at the time. So again, if this is, I won't do this for every single thing that you'll do, don't worry, but just so you get an idea, the ceremony, if COVID restrictions are pretty lax at the time, and if you're all local to Cornwall or can get to Cornwall, we'll do it in person somewhere. That'd be beautiful. But if the group isn't made up of people who are, you know, very close to Cornwall or can get down here, then we'll do it on Zoom. Again, beautiful and perfect, or a mix of the two. Maybe some people will be with me, some people will be on Zoom, and we'll all sit there together in space and yeah, have the group circles and ceremonies that way. So again, you can kind of see how the flexibility comes in. But this, once you've dedicated yourself to this course, you will get a full itinerary nearer the time of, you know, the dates, like what happens when, how it happens, you'll get all that. So don't worry for now. I'm just waiting to see how the group is made up so it's accessible to everyone, if not most people. So yeah, she'll get a ceremony every 6 weeks, and these ceremonies differ. So the first one is obviously to like open up the portals for the spiral for the group. But then there'll be ones to like a ceremony for empowerment, a ceremony for deep healing, ceremony for acceptance, for meeting your inner divine masculine. There's so many ceremonies that you will go through. You also get every 6 weeks as well, a group circle. So like I said, this is where we get to sit with each other in person or on Zoom and get to know each other, witness ourselves, and get to share how we've done the past 6 weeks. Like did we really connect with Kerr? What happened with her in that aspect? Were we having some troubling learning how to heal? We can share and help each other with that. And there'll be a different theme for each circle that I guide you all through as well. If you're sorry, my dog just came storming in. You all right, madam? Yeah. If you've been to any of my red tents in the past, then you know that I do love my themes. I do love them. So you know what I mean when I say group circle. It's still a sacred space. There's like portal energies that really suck you all in and just make you feel held and witnessed. You also get every 6 weeks a one-on-one with me. So this is our dedicated time just about you. Where are you at on your path? Where do you want to go? What are you winning at the moment? What are you struggling with? And again, depending where you are in the world, we can do this out on the land somewhere, or we can do it on Zoom like this. And it all just depends on you, your preference, COVID, unfortunately, and all that stuff. And with these one-on-ones, I have nearly 30 years of experience in this field. I'm a leading expert in this. So you get access to my full knowledge, to my full experience, and all my ability just to hold space for you as well. If you just want to use those one-on-ones just to rant in the loveliest way because, you know, you couldn't connect with a certain aspect to this, that's your time to do. That's completely what you need. But at the end of it, we're going to help you. We're going to get you back on track, and it's going to be amazing and perfect. So yes, you do have untapped knowledge. Is that right? Untapped knowledge. A lot of access to my knowledge and my skills that I can share with you along the way. You'll also get many unique guided meditations as well. And these will be, again, if you've experienced a guided meditation of mine and you're adept or good at astral projection or soul traveling, whatever you like to call it, you know that there's more of what these are. These are, if you can astral project, then you will during these, my goodness. So these are all meditations to many different things. So to meet the spirit of Cornwall, to embrace your wild woman or wild man or wild being, I'm trying to think of my favorite ones, to accept your inner child, to love your inner child. There's so many beautiful ones. And there's also optional sacred walks out on the land. Now I've made these optional and the price does reflect that. I've not charged it like the full price that I usually would for this level of training. But I want these to be a permanent fixture, but COVID's obviously got other ideas. And obviously, you know, if you've got people from Canada, for example, joining us, they can't come here every 6 weeks just to have a little bit of a walk with me. That seems a bit ridiculous. Unless you wanted to, of course, that's still welcome and fine. But it seems rude to presume that of people. So these sacred walks are optional. So these are obviously if COVID lets us, but we can meet up at certain sacred sites. And there's a or she's not yet a priestess. I keep calling her a priestess. She's not yet a priestess. She's one of the students that dedicates on Beltane this year. She's really phenomenal at going to these sacred sites and just intuitively knowing and feeling what the site was used for, and therefore what we can tap into at this site. So I'm trying to think of an example, but she can find healing stones, like in a stone circle. She'd be like, okay, yeah, this one's to heal this aspect of yourself, or this one's really connected to the fae, so why don't you go and sit here for a little bit? And she's really good at that kind of stuff. So she'll be helping us on these walks as well, really connecting with the dryads and the elementals of that particular piece of land, as well as just being a lovely woman to be around. And she will be in the private Facebook group as well, as another form of support and just guidance, and just another person to get to know and help you and witness you and celebrate you as well. So these sacred walks, if you do need lifts to them, and again, COVID permitting, I have a beautiful car, a lovely Beetle convertible. And if you're happy to have me drive you to these sacred sites while I belt Fleetwood Mac at an alarming rate, then I'm more than happy to drive you to these sacred sites as well. That'd be quite fun, I think, to have a little road trip. Again, COVID permitting, I keep forgetting. But yes, optional sacred walks. And then we move on to the lessons. And I can't physically talk you through all the single lessons that you'll learn, because we just don't have the time. This would have been 20 minutes, don't have the time. So these lessons, just some of them, you'll get to explore exactly what the spirit of Cornwall is, how to connect with it, what it means as a priestess, all these different aspects, which again, I can't even fully describe what that module alone would look like, because I just end up teaching it to you right here, which isn't the point. But yeah, she'll get to learn so much about the spirit of Cornwall. You'll learn the unique healing modality that we use here at the temple. There's only 3 people at the moment that use that healing modality, and you'll get to be the 4th, 5th, 6th. You'll get to be the next one in line. That's not the right way to phrase it, but you get to be the next person to learn, which I'm so excited for this healing modality just to like spread across the world and just reach whoever it needs to reach. You'll get to learn about the mystic archetype and how that is represented in Cornish places and energies, and how it is to work with that as a priestess of Cornwall as well. But also not just the mystic archetype. There's so many different archetypes that we'll teach you about as well, but mystic's just one of them. We'll teach you about the values of the temple and the priestess values. So one of them being caring for the land, empowerment, compassion, inclusivity. Again, there's loads. You'll also get to explore your own values as a priestess as well. You'll get to learn all about the moons, like what does the first quarter moon mean? How can we tap into its energies as a priestess, and all this lovely stuff. And again, there's so much more there than I can actually tap into in the amount of time that we've got here. So yes, all of this information will be on the website, or it is already on the website anyway, and there'll be a link in the bio for you to go and peruse at your own time, because all the lessons are on there, or at least the names of the lessons. It's all just pinpointed out for you. You'll also get homework every 6 weeks, and it varies in what the homework is, but it is never, ever, ever going to be like, okay, write me a 3,000 word essay about your connection to the goddess Kerr. Nope, don't you worry. It's all experiential, because you're only going to learn from doing. So it's more, go off and experience this thing. Let me know if you need help. Tell me about your experience, or even just pop it in the group. If you can do that, then that's, you've shared it with the others, and that's beautiful. And throughout the course as well, you also get 4 storytelling sessions with me. So these might happen out on the sacred walks if that's feasible. It could happen in a group circle. But it's all about the different folkloric tale, or my 4 personal favourite folkloric tales from Cornwall, and how they correlate with being a priestess of Cornwall. So we've got the lost land of Lyonesse, we've got Tristan and Isolde, we've got some beautiful ones. I love those. They're just such a nice little like sprinkling of magic onto the course. And then your second year, there are optional shadow journal prompts, because for me in my priestess path, deep, horrible nitty-gritty shadow work and healing has been necessary, but it's not necessary for everyone, nor is it always the right time for people to be starting or doing shadow journaling, shadow work. So these are optional. You get to keep access to these shadow prompts for time immemorial. So if you're not ready during your training, but you might be in 3 months after, 3 years after, whatever, you still have access to them to do them there. And again, I don't ever require you to send me your journals back. That's a really weird, intrusive thing to do. If you want to share them with me and tell me about them, beautiful. I'll be there to listen and to help you if that's what you need. But yes, that they're just for you to work through as and when you want, with appropriate aftercare as well. And throughout this whole course, there is an unprecedented level of aftercare. I am there for you pretty much whenever you need, unless I am sleeping or eating. If you have a question, I'll be there. So yes, aftercare is very important as well, because I know something doesn't sit right about making somebody go through a really traumatic experience in order to heal. So they'll just be like, okay, ta-ra, thanks. No, aftercare is big on aftercare and empowerment. So yes, you'll also get access to all of our Patreon content as well for the 2 years that you're training with the Mystery School. So there's 2 given pieces that will be dropped into the private Facebook group, which is the collective tarot reading. So this is every month, the last day of the month, a collective tarot reading is done by myself. And this then gets, it's like for the collective energies for the month ahead. So for this month, for example, on the 30th, my Patreon supporters of that tier anyway will get a tarot reading for May. That makes sense. And these aren't individual tarot readings. These are for the collective energies of the Patreon supporters and for whoever is part of the Mystery School, hopefully you. And you'll also get access to unique guided meditations. And this, again, there's never any like double ups on meditations. So all the meditations that you get through the Mystery School course stay that. They would never be shared anywhere else. Same with the Patreon ones. So you're never going to get a crossover of guided meditations. There might be like a similar theme every now and then, but they will never be the same. They'll always be exploring different aspects of the same theme, if they even do explore the same theme. And then optional Patreon content you can opt into is the weekly healing sessions. So if you've been around this temple community long enough, you know that every Sunday, at least at the moment, every Sunday, I go live just back there and I conduct healing sessions for you all in many different ways. And again, using the healing modality that I teach you all in during this course. So yes, you can opt in to have your name put in our healing book every week for the 2 years that you're a part of this course. And you can also opt in to get a channeled message every month from whoever needs to come forth. Because one of my, as my role as Oracle, it's just opening myself up as a vessel and letting whoever needs to come out, come out. So that, yes, you can opt into one of those, both of those, whatever you need. And so my phone's telling me it's dying. How amazing. But that's pretty good timing because I'm nearly at the end. So yes, you have access to all of that as well. So to round up just the sheer amount of content that you get for this course, and I'm just reading this here because again, I can't remember these figures. You get this is all a minimum, okay, minimum of 18 ceremonies, a minimum of 16 group circles, 16 one-on-ones, 16 unique guided meditations, 16 optional sacred walks, 53 lessons, unique lessons and very deep immersive lessons as well, 4 storytelling sessions, 7 sets of optional shadow work prompts, and all the Patreon content as well. So the tarot reading, the guided meditation, the healing and the channeled messages. I think that's everything. Oh my goodness. I've had to film this a few times now because it ended up being like an hour plus and I can't. No, nobody's going to want to watch an hour video of me waffling about guided meditations. Or maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if you would. If you just want like a live stream of my consciousness, that'd be fine. So yes, if any of this course calls to you, let me know. Drop me an email, a message, a comment anywhere. And we can arrange to have a no obligation, obviously free Zoom consultation or in-person consultation, depending what COVID's doing. I digress again. A consultation where there's no obligation that you should or have to book even then, let alone at all. And it's obviously a free consultation, obviously. So yeah, and then those consultations are chances for you to ask me any of your questions. I can better explain things with you and go deeper into detail because you will have longer than the half an hour that this video is. We'll create time for that as well if you need it. Yeah, and then moving on from there, it would be if you chose to do this course, I'll send you a booking form where you can opt in for the different Patreon things. You can tell me your preferred nouns, all the things there, and then we can work out a payment plan together. I'm very flexible with the payment plans. Yeah, so just reach out and let me know and we can discuss all that during the consultation. So yes, the link to the website page for this course will be in the bio. I am on holiday next week, so there won't be a new video then, but there's plenty of content on this channel for now to keep you all ticking over. When am I back? Glasses, I keep forgetting that I'm not 18 anymore. I'm back on the 1st of May, so the next video would be, let's say the 11th. Yes, the 11th of May. There might be one earlier, but let's just say the 11th of May just to make things easier, take the pressure off me. Okay, my lovelies, let me know if you have any questions, DM me. I love you all. So many blessings to you, and thank you for being here to witness the amazing journey that we're all on. Many blessings to you. Bye.